Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
Thank you for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast, where we discuss everything there is to know in the world of soccer, including the summer's hottest transfer rumors and the top games and competitions from all around the world. I'm Ben.
And I am Alex. Hey, man.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm great.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's my last show of the week. I'm feeling great. I'm going to get a haircut after today.
You're not going to... Are you letting the
only
top grow?
Only the sides.
Okay, I was about to say, because earlier
still
you
letting
mentioned the...
Yeah.
Possible Jared Leto Joker
Look at that, man.
Gimmick there.
Yeah.
You think that's long? Wait till you see mine. Mine's even longer than that, my hair.
Well, I mean...
It looks a lot shorter, but the way I have it styled...
You remember both of our hair in high school was pretty long.
Oh, man. I had to...
I had
like the Shaggy from Scooby-Doo look going for a while.
We had some long hair in high school.
Yeah.
Throwing it back to the old school.
We did.
Old school was so cool.
I love that. I love that.
Thanks.
Right there.
Thanks, man. All right. You want to tell the people what we have to talk about today?
Okay, so we're going to be jumping into this episode here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. We're first off going to be talking about the brand new FIFA rankings. So the men's rankings were updated after the summer's big tournaments, Copa America here in the Americas, and then we had the European Championship. So we have a lot of movement, not so much in the top five, but really further down on the list. We have a lot of movement from some nations who performed great in their tournaments and some nations that performed not so great in their respective tournaments. Also, we have to talk about the week's hottest transfer rumors. We have some confirmed transfers, some big ones, some top clubs like Chelsea as well as Tottenham. Then we have some rumors on some other big name guys. And then we're going to finish out the show talking a little MLS news. We have the MLS All Stars revealed. They're going to be playing Arsenal, my favorite club, July 28th here in San Jose. Going to be revealing the roster for the MLS side, as well as some MLS news, updating you on some of the table as the games sort of wind down heading into the playoffs.
All right. Well, do you want to get started on the MLS? I'm sorry, not MLS, the FIFA rankings?
Let's do it, because I am really, really opinionated on these rankings.
Yeah, you are. I watched your video.
Yeah, I don't really understand a lot of these. So moving on here, the top five, we have no change. These rankings came out on July 14th, so last Thursday.
No change whatsoever.
No change whatsoever in the top five. So there's a quick rundown. We have Argentina at 1. We have Belgium at 2. Colombia at 3. Germany at 4. The Copa America, the two-time defending Copa America champions, Chile at 5. None of those teams changed after the tournaments. We have Portugal coming in at 6th, the European champions. We have French at 7.
French at 7, huh?
The French are at 7. Yeah,
France.
France.
We have French at 7. I was like, well.
We have the French at 7,
okay.
France. We have Spain at 8. We have Brazil at 9 and Italy at 10. So we mentioned not any movement at all in the top 5. So we have Portugal, previously 8th. They move up 2 spots to 6th. We have France moving up 10 spots in the rankings. So previously at 17, the runners-up in the European Championships. Moving up from 17 to 7.
Yeah, two of my favorites, are also two big movers, would be Wales from 15 spots up to number 11, and the Iceland powerhouse moving 12 spots up from 34 to 22.
Yeah, they were on my notables. So Spain is at 8th. They dropped 2 spots, so previously at 6. Brazil dropped 2 spots as well from number 7 to number 9. And then Italy move up 2 spots from 12 to round out the top 10. You mentioned Wales moving into 11. Some more notables I have on here is England only dropping 2 spots after their really, really poor European Championship from 11 to 13. We have Mexico gaining 2 spots from 16 to 14. Croatia, big jumpers. They move up 12 spots from 27 to 15. We have another team right behind Portugal. Right behind Croatia is Poland. We have Poland moving up 11 spots from 27 to 16. Iceland, you mentioned. And then the United States moving up 6 spots from 31 to 25.
It's not bad. It's not a bad list, if you ask me.
If you ask me, it's a bad list.
I mean, overall, it's not. I mean, yes, it's the no change is confusing to me. I did look through the entire top 50, and can you guess, without looking, who had the biggest increase in their ranking?
In the top 50? Mm-hmm. I clicked on it, so I...
Do you know who it is? I mean, if you know who it is, you can say it. I guess it's okay.
New Zealand, right?
False.
Well, that's not the top 50. They moved up. New Zealand is the biggest mover in this whole thing. They moved up 54 spots to number 93.
Mm-hmm. I'm speaking...
In the top 50...
What you got?
Wales? 15 spots?
Venezuela, 31.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where are they at in the rankings? I didn't
46.
See. They moved up 31 spots to 46?
Yes, sir.
So they were at 77. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. That's a really big jump. They had a good Copa America.
They did. I mean, heck, man, even Tunisia moved up 2 spots.
They lost in the quarterfinals to Argentina, so...
Yeah, I mean, but everybody was losing Argentina almost this time.
Not Chile.
That's why I said
Well,
almost.
actually, they did lose in the opening game of their group stage to Argentina, but then they beat them in the championship.
Are you surprised, speaking of Argentina, that they're still sitting at the number 1 spot?
No and yes.
Okay, give me your counter reasons, I suppose.
Okay, I'm not surprised because they are still one of the top teams in the world. They did finish second in the Copa America, so it's not like they had a disappointing tournament. They had a good tournament. They lost in penalty kicks, which you could say penalty kicks is kind of like a coin flip. Mm-hmm. So they could have gone either way with that and won the tournament. So I'm not surprised that they're won, but I am surprised because they did not win the tournament. This is twice in a row in the Copa America they did not win the tournament. Ended up being runners-up. They were also runners-up in the World Cup 2 years ago to Germany. Messi is still technically retired, although he's contemplating coming back now. Mm-hmm. Javier Mascherano is pretty much done. Sergio Aguero is on the fence. So a lot of their players are... Aguero!
He needs to like it so much.
So a lot of their players are sort of on the fence as far as if they want to keep playing for the international team of Argentina. They rank these on like a point system.
Yeah, a system I don't understand.
This makes absolutely no sense at all. Because if you look at the points, you have Argentina
1503
are at 1585.
Yeah,
so that was previous. So they gained 82 points on this list. Mm-hmm. And then you have Belgium in second at 1401. So they have a 184 gap there. I don't know where these come from.
Yeah, I don't understand how they do the point system personally.
Yeah, I'm not sure where these come from. If it was me, Argentina at 1, I wouldn't put them at 1.
Put them at 2?
But then who's number 1?
Would you put Belgium at 1?
No way. Belgium had, in my opinion, a disappointing tournament.
Colombia?
No.
United States?
Oh, yeah. I can't believe you got that.
Where are they on this list?
The United States is 25. They moved up 6 spots from 31. So they had a nice little jump, ended up losing in the semifinals to Argentina and then losing in the third place game to Colombia 1-0. But here's my biggest grief is Chile. Chile win the competition for a second year in a row. They beat Colombia 2-0 in the semifinal game, arguably without their best player in Arturo Vidal. But yet they're still behind Colombia. How does that happen?
I don't know, personally.
Like how does that work? And then if you look at this little point thing FIFA has,
yes.
Chile were previously 1293 points. After the win, they move up to 1316. So they gain 7 plus 16 is 23. Yes. They gain 23 points by winning the whole tournament. Argentina were at 1503, and now they're at 1585. So they gained 82 points out of this whole last time, and Chile only gained 23. How did they gain 4 times as many points as Chile when Chile win the Copa America?
I don't know, strength of competition, maybe? I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense at all. I feel like Chile definitely need to be ahead of Colombia. So I would still put Argentina at 1.
Okay.
I would not put Belgium at 2. I would put Germany at 2. I feel like Germany were really unfortunate having to play France without Mario Gomez, who was injured, as well as Sami Khedira, who was injured. And then they had Mats Hummels with 2 yellow cards, did not get to play. So I'd put them ahead of Belgium. Belgium had a disappointing tournament to me, losing to Wales in the quarterfinals. I put Chile at 3. I'll probably put Belgium at 4. I think you have to put Portugal ahead of maybe anyone except for Germany in Europe, coming off winning the European Championships. They didn't even lose a game in the tournament. They didn't have a great tournament, but they didn't have a bad one. They didn't lose any games. They won the whole thing after all. Mm-hmm. They didn't really stand out at all, but yet again they won every game or tied in every game in the group stage. So I would definitely have them ahead of any team except for maybe Germany in the European side. How France was previously ranked 17 is beyond me. Now they're at 7. That's pretty respectable for me. France, a team that lost in the quarterfinal to Germany in the World Cup 1-0 2 years ago. They're still a great side. I don't know how they were ranked 17. The rest of the top 10 I don't really have an issue with. Spain at 8, Brazil at 9, and Italy at 10. One issue I have is Uruguay at 12. They were previously 9th. They lost 3 spots in the rankings. They're ahead of Mexico when Mexico beat them in the group stage. Uruguay did not even get out of the group stage, and Mexico lost to Chile 7-0 there in the quarterfinal. So how are they still behind Uruguay, Mexico? I don't get that.
Well, I'm looking at the rankings updates and how they do it. FIFA announced in 2006 that the ranking system would be updated after that World Cup, and that's the most recent update 10 years ago. The evaluation period was cut from 8 to 4 years, and a simpler method of calculations now being used to determine rankings. Goals scored and home or away advantage are no longer taken into account, and other aspects of the calculation, including the importance attributed to different types of matches, has been revised. The first set of these, like I said, took effect in 2006. The change, though, is rooted at least at the part of the widespread criticism of the previous ranking system, as a lot of football enthusiasts feel that it's inaccurate, especially when compared to other ranking systems.
If there's a criticism of the previous rankings, then it couldn't possibly be worse than this, because this is ridiculous.
Well, like it says, it's an evaluation period of 4 years.
I don't agree with that. I don't like that.
It's tricky because you can have a team that's completely different from 2004 to 2008.
Over the past 4 years, you're telling me that Germany is only the 4th best team?
That's
Germany won the World Cup 2 years ago.
Well, in 2015, they were the number 1 ranked team in the world.
And now they dropped
to 4.
3 spots just in 1 year, coming off of winning the World Cup in 2015. Like, these rankings are just, they don't make any sense at all.
Yeah, it says in July 2014, Germany took over the lead once again, having won the 2014 FIFA World Cup. In 2015, Argentina reached the top spot for the first time since 2008 after reaching both the 14 FIFA World Cup final as well as the 15 Copa America final. And in November 15, Belgium became the leader of the FIFA rankings for the first time after topping their Euro 2016 qualifying group. Those are completely different. Like, okay,
right.
one team won the World Cup. One team won the Euros.
It's almost like they're not putting any significance into
one team
what
reached
tournament.
the finals, but they lost. One team reached the finals, but they lost. One team won their qualifying group. I don't quite understand it.
It's like they're not putting any consideration into how important these things are. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't put the European group stage qualifying in the same even sentence as the World Cup.
Yeah, it says the current system has been criticized for being open to abuse. National teams can maintain a higher average score by playing fewer friendly matches, particularly against weaker opponents. For example, Switzerland was seeded for the 2014 World Cup draw largely thanks to only playing 3 friendly matches in the previous year. Switzerland would have reduced their rating if they had played any more friendlies, as their average score was greater than the maximum possible score from winning a friendly match against a top-ranked nation.
This makes no sense at all. England at 13, only dropping 2 spots with how poorly they played in the European Championships and losing in the round of 16 to Iceland. They only dropping 2 spots to 13. I don't understand at all. I think you have to put Mexico ahead of them, Croatia ahead of them, Poland, just based off what they did this summer. I don't agree with it. I think this is all bogus.
Yeah, it's kind of weird if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't like it. So.
I don't know. Well, enough about that, man. We're going to take a break. We're going to take our first break.
That sounds good, because I'm just kind of heated up about this.
Yeah.
This is just dumb.
Heated up like a Hot Pocket?
There you go. That was a good one. I like that.
Thanks, Ben. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here to talk about transfer rumors and transfer news. So we'll be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back here to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. We're going to move into our second segment of the show here. Going to be talking some transfer rumors and some transfer deals that have happened within the past week.
Yes, we are indeed. And one of your more notable ones, I suppose, and somebody we've been talking about since our very first show on the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
Yeah, you're talking about N'Golo Kanté?
I'm talking about Lil Bill and N'Golo Kanté.
Little Bill and N'Golo Kanté. You
Yes,
saw that on Twitter the other day?
And the fact that you and I just talk about it, like probably every time we mention N'Golo Kanté.
Yeah, totally not related, but N'Golo Kanté looks exactly like the cartoon Little Bill. Look it up. And I even put this on Twitter, a picture of them both smiling, and they both have like the same little gap in their teeth. It's like he sort of like made that cartoon model right after N'Golo Kanté.
Maybe he did.
Or maybe it's Little Bill, but
maybe it's real Little Bill.
Maybe it's the real Little. But anyway, so N'Golo Kanté made a lot of news over the weekend. On Friday, Saturday, depending on your time zones, he confirmed a deal away from Leicester City to a new club staying in the Premier League. He is now a member of Chelsea. N'Golo Kanté.
Boo.
Boo.
I don't like Chelsea.
Well, me neither, but anyway, we're going to talk about it.
I don't like Arsenal.
Okay, those are fighting words right there. Those are fighting words. N'Golo Kanté from Leicester City, the champions of the Premier League, to Chelsea, about 30 to 32 million pounds. The central midfielder, this is an absolute monster deal for Chelsea and an absolute heartbreaking deal for Leicester City.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see where N'Golo was going to go. A lot of people thought he was just going to stay with Leicester City, and unfortunately, he ran for the money. I suppose. I mean, for all we know, he could maybe he wants to just play at a no offense to Leicester City, but maybe he wants to go play for more of a storied team and a storied club there with Chelsea. But yeah, 32, it's quite a bit.
Well, in a way, I would say that's kind of a steal, because if you're looking at some of it's more high profile that strikers get the money. Like a lot of people, like we'll talk about Gonzalo Higuain a little later in the segment, but he's rumored to be worth like 70, 80 million euros.
Yeah. I mean, apparently 32 is low for him.
That's not a bad deal.
Apparently
N'Golo Kanté
pay it so much, yeah.
And N'Golo Kanté led the Premier League in tackles and interceptions last year. Over the last 2 years in Europe's top 5 leagues, which is the French League, the Italian League, the BPL, English Premier League, La Liga, which is in Spain, and the German Bundesliga, within the past 2 years, with his 2 respective clubs, he leads those in tackles, those top 5 leagues. So his work rate, especially on that defensive side, is second to none. I'd say of any player in the Premier League last year, N'Golo Kanté was the most consistent throughout the whole entire season. He's not flashy. He's not going to score goals. He's not going to create them. He's going to win the ball back for you, for your team. And he does it really uncanny because he's not a huge guy.
Uncanny.
He's not really physical. He's not a huge guy. He just has a knack for somehow getting his foot in there and not tackling you to create a foul, but tackling you to get the ball back. For Chelsea, this is a monster signing. I imagine pairing him up with someone like Cesc Fabregas or Nemanja Matic, depending on how Antonio Conte, the new Chelsea manager, he also manages the Italian team, the Italian national team, I should say, and coming off a great summer, losing in the quarterfinals there to Germany in penalty kicks. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of formation he goes with. Because earlier, we mentioned a couple episodes ago, he signed Michy Batshuayi. He's a Belgian striker, formerly of the French club Marseille. So if they pair Batshuayi up with Diego Costa in like a two-striker formation, kind of which is like what Leicester City did last year, where they had Jamie Vardy at a striker and Okazaki, the Japanese player, at another striker, and you had Conte in that central midfield role. It's going to be interesting to see if Chelsea do that. I think they would experiment with that because Conte already has experience in that formation. He knows his role. You can sort of team up Diego Costa and Michy Batshuayi in the two-striker formation. That could be really devastating. You have Willian on the right side. You have Eden Hazard on the left side. My only concern for Chelsea would be that defense. The back four is kind of shaky. John Terry's really old. Kurt Zuma's still injured. I'm not really sold on Branislav Ivanovic. Thibaut Courtois is really solid in goal. But so it's interesting to see. Maybe they'll do Conte with Cesc Fabregas and Nemanja Matic in like a 3 central midfielder role, but then they'd have to play more of a 4-3-3 as opposed to a 4-4-2. I don't know, but I think that's really interesting. N'Golo Kante to Chelsea is a great deal. For Leicester City, I think this is their biggest loss they could possibly take out of their 3 big guys in being Jamie Vardy, Riyad Mahrez, and Conte.
And before moving on to, I would like to say, somebody who is now earning that much money, to us at least, that's still a lot of money. He was asked, because he had never owned a car before when he did arrive to the French club last year. Last summer he says he hadn't even owned a car. He says when asked why not, Conte is said to have replied, "Why do I need a car when I can run everywhere?"
Exactly, and it shows in his game, because I swear, N'Golo Kante never looks tired. He just never stops running. He's an Energizer bunny. He never looks tired.
That's always
this
something
is
you look
bad
for
Leicester City. And now reports are that possibly Riyad Mahrez, who was the PFA Player of the Year, he's a right midfielder, an Algerian, a great player, had over 15 goals and 15 assists last year for Leicester City. Reports are that maybe he is looking to move away from the Foxes. If they lose him, in addition with N'Golo Kante, they'll really be left at that main piece there with Jamie Vardy. Does Jamie Vardy regret not going to Arsenal now, especially if Mahrez leaves?
I think maybe he does.
Like Jamie Vardy's like, I'm going to be loyal to Leicester City. Like they're the club that really where I skyrocketed off into being the guy I am right now, playing for England in the Euros. I'm going to stay. Well, Jamie, we're leaving. So
sorry, man.
Nice to be with you.
Nice to know you.
Yeah, so Mahrez isn't really confirmed yet. He is playing in their friendly earlier, or going on right now, actually, against Oxford United. So he is playing, so that's a good sign if you're a Leicester City fan that Mahrez would stay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So N'Golo Kante to Chelsea, that's a great deal.
Yeah, I like it. You have some more transfer rumors for us?
A few quick ones. They're, obviously, N'Golo Kante was the big one of the week. We have some more here. We have a guy coming over from Marseille, we mentioned earlier with Michy Batshuayi. That's George Kevin Nkodu. He's coming over, the French left midfielder. He's coming over to Tottenham. He's going to have a medical going on today ahead of a £10.8 million transfer from Marseille. Nkodu scored 14 goals in all competitions last season after joining Marseille from Nantes for £1 million. So they're getting quite an investment on him, almost 11 times as much that they bought him from last year. So he's signing a 5-year deal with the Spurs. Spurs also had Victor Wanyama come over from Southampton earlier in the year. And then we mentioned last week Vincent Janssen coming over from AZ Alkmaar, which is a Dutch league team, a striker. He scored 27 goals in 34 games for them. So Tottenham already three transfers there, bringing a midfielder, bringing a defensive midfielder, and then, in my opinion, a backup there to Harry Kane. So Tottenham are making a lot of big moves to try and solidify that spot, that third-place finish they had in the Premier League last year, and try and build some success going into the Champions League, which they'll be in this year.
All right.
Yeah, just one more quick one, and then we have a lot of rumors, which we'll maybe touch on in the last segment, in addition to the MLS. But the big one, another Premier League guy is Graziano Pelle. He's an Italian striker from Southampton. He's now joined the list of players going to the Chinese Super League. Pelle, the fee is about 11 million euros, so not that much. Okay. But he's going to be earning £350,000 a week.
Wow.
That's more than Cristiano Ronaldo makes.
That's more than I make.
Well, more than I make too. But anyways, that's more than Cristiano Ronaldo makes a week.
That's insane.
The Chinese Super League has so much money. They're just throwing at these guys. Reports are that Gonzalo Higuain, Alex, rejected an £800,000 a week offer to go to a Chinese Super League team.
Man, what are they paying him over there?
Well, he would have made £800,000, but he's currently a member of Napoli, which is the Italian side. But reports are that he's maybe looking at going to Juventus or Arsenal.
Okay,
he would make 150 at the most, 150,000 a week. He rejected £800,000 a week.
I couldn't reject that. I couldn't do it.
I mean, it talks a lot about his character.
It does.
He wants to go to a team that's going to be, publicly looked at, not a team in China where really there's no media coverage going on. People that have gone to China, like Ramirez, he's a Brazilian midfielder formerly of Chelsea. You have Hulk, who just came over in the summertime. I love the name Hulk, by the way, the Brazilian midfielder. Also, people like Gervinho went over. There's so many guys that have done it. Ezekiel Lavezzi, the Argentinian. So many guys are doing it just to take the money. I'm happy that Higuain said, that's a lot of money, but I'll pass.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I can't say because I obviously will never be in this position, but depends on where I would be in my career if I could turn that down or not. I get playing for more of a notable club though.
Yeah, £800,000 a week. That would be unbelievable. But anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. A couple more rumors, really, really quick ones before we jump into some MLS action. We have the MLS All Star Team revealed. Going to break that down, talk to you about who is on it. They're going to be playing Arsenal July 28th, as well as an update on the MLS table. We'll be right back here, the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
That's what we do here at the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. We live it to the healthiest and to the fullest.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to live it up to the fullest here on the Soccer Show by jumping into our last segment here of the day. Real quick, before we jump into some MLS action, one more quick report is Georginio Wijnaldum. Great name, Alex.
That's a good name.
He's
I like that last name.
He's Dutch. He plays for the now League Two side Newcastle United after they just got relegated from the Barclays Premier League. Now they're in the football championship. Wijnaldum reportedly might be on the move. Club
moving where?
Maybe to Anfield, to Liverpool.
Oh.
Reports are that they're in the works to sign a £25 million transfer fee and have him move from Newcastle into Liverpool. I really like Gigi Wijnaldum. He's a good, solid player. Definitely, you don't want to be on a team that's kind of relegated. You want to be more, obviously, in the Premiership. Reports are that Wijnaldum is trying to leave Newcastle United. $25 million is not too bad for the midfielder. I definitely see that being a good move for Liverpool if that can get done. So moving on, we're going to talk about now the MLS. The MLS All Star Team has been revealed. We're going to break it down here, talk to you goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, forwards, as well as Alex has some snubs.
I do. I have some snubs.
He does have some snubs. Again, they're going to be playing July 28th in San Jose, where the San Jose Earthquakes play. They're going to be playing the Premier League club Arsenal, my favorite team. So the goalkeepers, we have David Bingham from the hometown San Jose Earthquakes. As far as defenders go, we have Brandon Vincent. He's from the Chicago Fire. We have Liam Ridgewell of the Portland Timbers. We have Steve Birnbaum from DC United. Kendall Waston from the Vancouver Whitecaps, Andrew Farrell of the New England Revolution. Moving on to the midfielders, we have Jermaine Jones, the American for the Colorado Rapids. He's a good midfielder. Will Trapp from the Columbus Crew. And we have Satya Klichsten from the New York Red Bulls. Great name. Love the Red Bulls.
That's a good name.
So moving into some forwards, we have Ignacio Piatti of the Montreal Impact. We have Kyle Lauren of the Orlando City. We have Chris Wondolowski of San Jose Earthquakes. Clint Dempsey of the Seattle Sounders, probably, in my opinion, the best United States soccer player. Mm-hmm. And then we have people like Mauro Diaz of FC Dallas and Kyle Beckerman of Real Salt Lake, who are part of the commissioner's picks. Some other notable names in here, we have Andrea Pirlo, we have Kaká, some great legends of really the world when it comes to soccer. Sebastian Giovinco of Toronto FC, Didier Drogba, guys who really made that transition from Europe, kind of waning down their careers over into the United States. One guy I love on this list is his name, Darlington Nagbe. He's of the Portland Timbers. He's an American, more of an attacking midfielder. He's had a great season for Portland.
All right, and don't forget David Villa.
David Villa.
He is the fan vote pick of the New York City FC team. So
no real surprise there. Former Barcelona star. He's a great striker. He's had a good season for New York FC as well, as they look to keep up their positive play here on the East. They currently lead the table with 33 points. So
all right.
He's a big reason of that.
I imagine so. Yeah, he scores a lot of goals.
Yeah, and you have not a transfer list. I'm sorry, a snub list.
I do. So I have about five players that are kind of commonly looked at right now as the snubs didn't make this team. Keep in mind that 6 more players will be named as inactive All-Stars for the total of 32, and that's revealed game day. But these are some guys currently that are looked at as players that should have made the team. You have Diego Valeri from the Portland Timbers. He's a midfielder. He's kind of been the biggest, he's the biggest player to not really be named.
He's the biggest snub.
Yeah, that's really the biggest snub. Yeah, he 9 goals, 5 assists on the season. It's tough to fathom the fact that he didn't make this team. I would have had him over a few different guys, but his absence could probably be explained by he had 3 straight games where he missed time because he was injured. So I would imagine that might be a factor. Moving on to another snub is you have Juan Manuel Martinez out of the Real Salt Lake. He's a forward. He's 6 goals and 2 assists in 18 games. He is another guy. He was been injured sometimes this year, but it's his numbers aren't as high as some of the guys. So it's kind of that you can't go wrong taking one or the other. In that sense, he just didn't get the same votes as other players. He's not as notable of a player. Moving on, you have Axel Sorberg.
Great name. I love the name Axel. Yeah. I think of like a guitar player.
Axel.
Yeah, Axel.
That's my name, just changed around.
Just switch the L and the X.
And then you have Alex. Boom.
Yeah.
Yes, Axel Swordberg out of the Colorado Raptors. He's a defender. 2 goals, 1 assist. Obviously, defenders not going to have the same numbers, but they have the best defense in the league in Colorado by a pretty big margin.
And they also have Tim Howard in goal now.
Yeah, and he's a big reason for that. And not to mention that he is he doesn't score often, but he's a defender that can score. Moving forward on set pieces, he's contributions to the back line are pretty solid, if you ask me. So personally, I think this one was one of the bigger snubs. He's a great defensive player, but then again, you're not looking at defense when you look at these All-Star games in the same sense.
No.
Personally. And he's a big fella. You know how big this guy is? He's huge. All right, moving on to Fernando Adi. Fernando Adi out of the Portland Timbers is a forward. He's a little bit more of a goal scorer than some of these other names on the list. 10 goals, 2 assists in 20 games this season. He hit the double-digit goals for 2 years, the second year in a row. But unfortunately, he didn't make the All-Star game this year. If you watch him play any serious period of time, you see that he has he's gotten better every year he's played so far. He's 6'4" for a forward. He's a quick guy. He's a good goal scorer. So if you look at that, I think he's another guy that could have made it. I think he might make it on the alternates and some of the inactive players.
Okay.
And then one of the other great names of a team that's an MLS team I kind of more so paid attention to earlier in my football fan life because Beckham went there, is LA Galaxy defender Jelle Van Dam. They call him the big bald Belgian.
It's great
because he is big and bald in Belgian. He's a pretty good player. He's not the perfect candidate for the All-Star game, unfortunately. He's a lot of turnover issues. His defense hasn't been what it has been, but the Galaxy is second best in the league currently with that defense, and the goal differential is plus 14. So he's a big part of that still for a big guy in the back end there. So it's somebody else I think might make the list as inactive. So it's going to be interesting to look at. Personally, I think Diego Valery and Fernando Adi both make
strong cases
to be on the list, in my opinion.
And I agree. And two, not necessarily snubs, but people that are left off this are Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard. Not necessarily because they deserved it, which I'm kind of glad that, in a way, I'm glad that they did not get voted onto the team. In a way, I'm glad that they didn't. The commissioner could have easily put Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard in because of their names. Obviously, great English players. Gerrard, formerly with Liverpool. Then you have Lampard with Manchester City, Chelsea. They could have easily put him there because they're really legends of the game. Draw fans in, draw viewership. But I'm glad that he went with Diaz and Beckerman as opposed to that people that are more deserving as opposed to just bigger names.
Yeah, so, speaking of big names, too, I wanted to make sure I got it right. Axel Solberg is 6'7". So
yeah, definitely
a big name.
Definitely a big guy, as you mentioned. So, yeah, that's the MLS All Star list. They're going to be playing July 28th against Arsenal.
Yeah, if you want to look at the Arsenal roster real quick, I will tell you just to cover all those bases. It hasn't been announced yet, so boom.
Yeah, I would expect for Arsenal, you wouldn't see a lot of the huge big names on their list. Some of the guys who played in some of these summer tournaments.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect to see Mesut Ozil. Probably not Alexis Sanchez. Probably wouldn't see Olivier Giroud and Laurent Koscielny since they're still coming back, ending their summer football with France just a little over a week ago. Still taking some time off, some holiday, some vacation. So wouldn't expect to see them really return this early to Arsenal training. But I know you'll probably see a lot of the main guys from Arsenal that are really just fixtures in this lineup all the time. So
yeah, I mean, I would love to go to this game, but
we'll leave that for a different topic.
Yeah,
so
we'll
just leave it there.
It's okay, I understand, Ben.
Anyways, just a quick update on the MLS table as well. FC Dallas, Mauro Diaz, who just got voted in as the commissioner pick for the All-Star game. They lead the West with 40 points. Colorado Rapids, they're in at second place with 37 points, and they've played 3 less games than FC Dallas have. So they're still looking really good. They do have those 3 games to make up. As well as LA Galaxy, they're in third in the West with 32 points. Also played 19 games. Real Salt Lake is in fourth place at 30 points out of 20 games. In the East, New York FC, led by David Villa, All-Star at 33 points. The Philadelphia Union, 30 points through 20 games. New York Red Bulls at 28 points through 21 games. And the Montreal Impact, led by Didier Drogba, at 26 points out of 19 games. The Chelsea and Ivory Coast legend, Didier Drogba.
He's pretty cool. He's pretty rad.
He was a great player for Chelsea.
Still is pretty good.
Well, he's a lot older now, but
he's taking a step back. But.
Yeah, led them to Champions Leagues. Great player for Chelsea, Didier Drogba.
All right, man. Do you have any other news for the day? Because I think I'm all tapped out.
I hope that Arsenal sign a striker. Please do it, Arsene Wenger. For like 4 years in a row, we've needed one. Please break the bank. Stan Kroenke, break the bank and get Higuain or Lacazette. Somebody. Like we're desperate. That's what we could use. Because I think when we do our Premier League preview segment show, the Premier League is going to be so competitive this year. You have teams that are getting so much better, like Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea should be back, Liverpool with Klopp, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, West Ham are still a decent side. So many good teams. It's so competitive. I think Arsenal need that 1 or 2 guys to really level the playing field because I think Chelsea got a lot better. I think Manchester United got a lot better. And Manchester City have gotten a lot better. Arsenal, please. Arsene Wenger, please. Stan Kroenke, please sign a striker. That's it.
I'm glad to give you your little you just rant of the day, Ben.
My rant of the day.
All right. Well, tell them where they can find us so we can get out of here and I can start my long weekend.
I hope you have a good weekend, first of all.
Thank you.
Second of all, you can find us so many different places. You can find us on YouTube. We're at the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find us on iTunes. iTunes is huge for us.
Great.
You can find us on our Podcast Network website page. It's gsmcpodcast.com. You can click on the portfolio of podcasts. Make sure you click on soccer. Every episode is up there. There's so many more. Alex and I also do the sports show. Alex does the football show. I do the baseball show. There's other sports ones. There's health and wellness, as you've heard on here. There's relationship, TVs, movies. There's so many to listen to. No matter what you're interested in, we got you covered here at the GSMC Podcast Network. You can also find Coming Soon. There's a Coming Soon tab of podcasts that will be starting up eventually. You can find us on Twitter and at Instagram. We're at GSMC_soccer. If you're looking for a mobile playback, you can find us on things like Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play. The list goes on and on.
The Apple podcast
app.
Yeah. Comes on most iPhones now.
I wouldn't know about that because
Sorry, man, but I do,
I'm a
though.
Samsung guy.
That's
and
okay.
you can't even delete that app.
Nope.
If you're an Apple guy. So there's no reason you can't hear our show.
Yeah, if you're an Apple person, you got to hear it.
Yes, and a Droid person too. But
sure, if you're into that.
I am.
All right, man, that's cool, I guess. If you're into that.
I am into that. So that's going to conclude this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure if you are listening on iTunes, leave us a rating. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say and what you have to think about the show. So
yeah, I would love to hear you guys' opinions. It'd be great.
Absolutely.
So as always, I'm Alex.
He's Alex. I'm Ben. He's going to Comic-Con. I'm not. And we will update you on next week's show. Have a good week, guys.
Bye, guys.